Hello, pilots, and welcome back to some more Flight Academy brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil, and today we have Game 4, which is actually Game 1 of Group 2, because as we said, we've split them into two groups where they're going to play against each other twice to get two finalists from each group. So on the table today, we have Ben K, and for the very first time in Flight Academy, we've actually got James on. Which is ironic because who have I got joining me to talk about this game?
It's James. I'm here as well as there. You can't see because I'm on commentary now, but I am pointing.
Yes.
Yes, I finally got to play in a Flight Academy, so hooray!
And I was so excited to have you on board because you've commentated so many of them that the fact that we were able to do this on TTS and allowing you to be able to actually be a part of it was pretty good. So really glad about that. Before we get too far into the action, we'll just quickly run down what we do have on the board as well. So as I said, we've got Ben K on the left-hand side. Or is he the right-hand side? Technically, he's the right-hand side. They're the wrong way around for some reason. We've got Ben K. He's running Nien Num in the standard T70 color scheme with Heroic, Pattern Analyzer, BB Astromech, and the integrated S-foils. Luckily, they're different paint jobs, so it's easy to actually tell which one is which.
If I'm flying my boy Poe, I've got to put him in the black one. I know he doesn't have the title, but we'll get into that. So yes, I brought Poe Dameron, also in a T70 X-wing. This is the Commander Poe from the Heroes of Hope expansion. So 5 points within the limit for Flight Academy. Still Initiative 6. His ability is kind of every other turn potentially, and he's loaded out with Composure, Ferrosphere Paint, R4 Astromech, and the S-foils.
Ferrosphere Paint is a very good upgrade.
It's good against a lot of ships. The one pilot in particular it's not great against is 9 Num.
Yeah.
The original pilot I wanted to fly in this because he's very good at dogfighting one-on-one, but Ben just got in there before me, so fair play to him.
He did pip you just a little bit, and I do find it fun that we have, like, essentially what I class as, like, the trio of T70s, because we also have Elo in Group 1 as well.
Typical, them and sometimes Snap, Temin Wexley.
Yeah.
They're kind of the ones you see.
Yeah, I see them as, like, the sequel trilogy's version of, like, Wedge, Luke, and Biggs.
Yeah, definitely.
With Hobby in there as well. But yeah, so obviously I6 is going to give you that initiative advantage. You're going to know where Ben is, so that's a bit of a plus side for you. And
I do like Empire Initiative,
yeah. And as well, Ferrosphere Paint again. I know that with Nien it can be a bit tricky, but he only gets to get rid of that stress if it's range 1 in the forward arc.
Yes, so currently is not, but he does still get the Pattern Analyzer action, which is... Is this the first game that's going out with 9 Num in it?
Yes, it is.
So let's go over the silly shenanigans you can do with this guy, which is another reason I really like him. Most of the time, doesn't really matter what upgrades you've got on him, just make sure you've got a Pattern Analyzer, because it just gives you so much action economy. If you can do a red maneuver and end up triggering his ability, so an enemy at range 1 in front arc, you can do 2 actions for no stress.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is you can do the red maneuver, do the Pattern Analyzer action first, and you can use that action to reposition to make sure that you have the range 1 in arc effect to get your regular action once you've cleared the stress with 9's ability. It's a very good combo, and I really like it.
Yeah, it is a really cool combo. It's a very powerful combo. We'll just see how powerful it does end up being. And I know that, again, you were going to go for 9 Nien. We say it in such different ways. You were going to go for him.
Everyone I've seen in like the production of the films called him 9 because apparently George Lucas just went through all of the alien heads and went, "Oh, this is alien number 9. Okay, he's called 9. No, he's number 9. He's 9 number." You know, that's where he comes from.
I absolutely love that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, obviously you did want to go through, and then obviously you went for Poe, which we know normally you like.
I do prefer
The
the more expensive Poe, but he would be probably too good at this.
he's 6 points as well, if I remember rightly.
I
Now,
think he's 7
ooh,
in at least in the points I was looking at.
yeah. So he would be a bit too good. His ability. I mean, when you look at like your sequel pilots, Poe Dameron is almost like your Vader level
Yes.
of like crazy pilot. So obviously this is more, I'd say, closer to sort of Luke Skywalker level pilot. Still good, but there are ways around that. But I will say one thing I did like your inclusion on, and I know it was partly down to loadout points, but composure is an interesting talent that can be like quite clutch actually if
So I
you.
knew I wanted to use Ferris paint because honestly, it just sounded kind of fun.
Yeah.
With Poe stressing himself every so often, Arthur Ashemek makes a lot of sense. And that left me with just 1 point spare. And looking at the options, it's like, well, how many times am I going to use? I think it was what, Deadeye shot,
Yeah.
and most of the ships I'm coming up against don't have a huge amount of hull. I mean, 4 is, let's say, average.
Yeah.
Everyone's flying a small base ship. And I thought, you know what, if I try and boost in and miss it, I can at least still grab that focus.
Oh, that's a good evade roll there from Ben. Yeah, no, absolutely. Being able to have that focus is probably better than like Deadeye. I mean, marksmanship went up 1 point, which was disappointing. So it's now 2, because otherwise that would be the one I'd probably look at. But composure is really good.
So you were saying about his green dice,
Did
and
you
then
take it?
those are mine.
Oh, that is a little bit painful.
But
I'm gonna
again,
say a
that
little bit, yeah.
analyzer, like 9 did a red maneuver and still had that focus.
Yeah. And like the tech upgrade is a very good space with upgrades. You've got so many good ones, that Ferrosphere paint, pattern analyzer.
The
You've
interesting
got,
thing about this version of Poe is he actually has 2 tech slots.
but he doesn't have the points to fill them,
No,
though,
he
does he?
doesn't. He really, I think, can only afford 1.
Yeah, because
I
the only other ones he could afford, he can't take because he's not I3 or lower.
Yeah, he also, considering it's the Poe from the Battle of Exegol, and you know me, you know I like to have things at least slightly thematic.
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed that in the points that we were using, R2D2 was not even a viable option. He was 1 point too many for spending the entire loadout on.
yeah, it is. Obviously, for this season, we're using the XWA Beta because we're really excited for the community to obviously get their hands on these points now that AMG are not supporting it, and really sort of try and bring back some of the forgotten ships, dial back on some of the others. Some points I think that they've done a great job. There are points where it hasn't quite landed, but again, it's a work in progress, so you never know. Your boy Poe, he might be able to take R2 in the future. Might be able to get those 2 techs, but yeah, it's a work in progress. So
Yes, I do like that Ben took the BB Astromech because it's not one I normally use. I mean, if I am going to use a BB Astromech, I just throw BB-8 on just to get the boost as well.
yeah,
I did look at it for this version of Poe, but because of the changes to how the BB Astromech works now with the errata, it doesn't actually work with this version of Poe, like for the fun little combo you can do.
it still works for the other Poe though,
It
doesn't it?
still works for the other Poe, because the expensive Poe is when you do an action, you can spend the charge and do another action treating it as red. This Po
Yeah.
is when a friendly ship at, I think, 0 to 3 performs an action during their activation, spend 2 charges, they can do another action treating it as red. But because the BB Astromech triggers in the system phase, you can't do an action off of the barrel roll or the
Because
boot
it's
routines in
because
BB.
it's not in the activation. It's not in the ship's
It is
actual activation.
really
It's out of sequence.
disappointing because it's a fun combo, and you only get to do it like twice in a game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, the BB Astromech, again, it is really good, especially for near numb. It's just to be that repositioning with his pattern analyzer, with Nian's ability, it's just very efficient. And
Anything that helps him line up his red maneuver to lose the stress is fantastic. And getting a barrel roll in before doing either a K turn or a Talon roll, just to get it in just the right position, is so good.
yeah. Oh, that I mean, you had a good shot there, but those evade dice again. And as I said, he's got a target lock, and he's also got, which he didn't actually get the stress because of he didn't get the Ferrosphere Paint stress because he was at range 1 off you as well. Wow.
I mean, that's a fully modded shot. It's kind of what you expect. I wasn't expecting that on the green dice, though. I was kind of hoping to get at least one.
Yeah, the green dice have been. They've not liked you very much.
I mean, when I was setting this up, I was considering dropping the R4 Astromech and taking Heroic
Yeah.
and throwing 1 point elsewhere. But even on that roll, I couldn't use Heroic because I rolled an eye.
No, I mean that's what's disappointing though. Heroic, it has to be all blanks.
But we are now on
So,
turn 8, and there has finally been a decent amount of damage in some regard, because we were flying
Yeah.
around for quite a bit before anything really happened.
And there we go. There's that barrel roll into K-turn. Hasn't lined up that range 1 not take stress bubble.
So, yeah, this is, I think, the point where Ben realized how Nine's ability actually works, in that he thought it was range 1, not range 1 in arc. So I think this
Fortunately,
is
though,
working that out.
Fortunately, though, any other time that it triggered, I'm pretty sure he did have forward arc on there. So I don't think there was any missed triggers.
I've thrown 9 enough that I was keeping an eye out for it, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on with his ability. I don't blame Ben at all for missing it.
It's a very powerful ability and a very good combination of cards that you do sometimes have to stop and read it. And it's one of those ones that until someone explains it to you, you're just sort of there going, that can't be right. That it can't be that good. And then someone explains it.
9 with the pattern analyzer, and your opponent either seems unfamiliar with it or is just very new. Or sometimes even if you're in a tournament, just going through every step out loud for any complicated combo is very beneficial to both players, because you might end up realizing you're missing a trigger.
Yeah. And I do think that at a tournament, you're always going to go through your lists, and if you do have anything like that, it's just good form to say that in any game that you're going to do, because again, the main thing we want when you rock up to play a game is obviously winning is nice, winning is great. You're both there to play.
Yes.
We want to both have fun. Yes, if you lose, it can be a bit disappointing, but in the long run, if your opponent does beat you and they're doing some really cool flying or they've used their tricks really well.
I mean, look at the position Nine's ended up here. Like, he's absolutely for me. I'm spending a long time trying to work out my best option, which I take as getting out of range 1.
Yeah. Which obviously is going to be tricky, and partly for you, you're looking at it, you've got one hole left, but at the same time you're flying Niam well though. And 9 numb is, absolutely. I love 9 numb, so if I see him flying well. Ooh.
So
just
only one hit.
One. Evade.
Po lives.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if your opponent's flying well, and you're both doing everything you can, as long as like having fun is the main thing. And like I said, we're at turn 9 here. So after those early big hits, you're still at turn 9. You're still getting up to that 20-minute mark. But yeah, 9 num is just very good. And that's also a tricky position for you to be in now as well.
So at this point, I just wanted to get some damage on him.
Yeah.
So I did just do the K turn.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because he was either going to catch me at some point or just let it go to time. And honestly, I'd rather just have a fight. It's been a while since I actually got to play the game as well, so...
True. I mean, if you'd
fine.
managed to get so no damage there, but if you manage to get 2 shields down in the next minute, it does go to the final round as well as we've had in Group 1.
Yeah, potentially, half points to go to a salvo, but it wasn't
Unfortunately, not like that. No.
But well flown, Ben.
Yeah, very well for that.
A lot of good triggers off of 9's ability, some very good shots. Yeah, well played.
And again, I will say I think you flew pretty well there as well, but the green dice just were really against you. And as we know, all the strategy in the world is undone by green dice.
I mean, that's why I didn't fly Luke, because I knew that the dice would just blank out on me. It always happens when I fly him.
They always do it, Luke. Yeah. Well done to Ben. Great flying there, James. Again, thank you for joining us for this commentary. Hope that it wasn't too traumatic looking back at this game.
This one was all right.
Well, we've got plenty more games to come, so guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time for Game 5 from Group 2.